The fight to get the Cheektowaga PD to grow up and just do their damn job continues. And if you are available the evening of February the 10th at 5:30 p.m., you can help. If you want the whole backstory, you can scroll back to a video I posted on January the 18th that's titled The Saga in Cheektowaga. But the short version is, in 2025, on 21 separate occasions, the Cheektowaga PD detained somebody that they were having an interaction with. Some of these people were being arrested, yeah, but some of these people were just like being questioned in the street. Detained these people on the suspicion that they were in the country illegally. The suspicion. Took these people over to the ICE facility in Batavia and said, hey, we want you to investigate whether or not this person's papers are like legit or valid. So this is not a case of like the Cheektowaga PD doing good police work and like sorting out whether or not someone's in the country illegally. Like literally one of the people they brought to the ICE facility was a guy born in New York City. He just was Hispanic. Anyway, the public in Cheektowaga didn't really realize this was going on until the Investigative Post broke this news story back on December 9th of 2025. Ever since the Investigative Post story, a group calling itself Erie County Women United have been organizing these Pack the Hall events where everybody goes down to the Cheektowaga Town Council public meetings and says, hey, get your fucking cops in line. It's really important to point out this is not normal behavior for police departments in this area. Investigative Post couldn't find a single time that the Buffalo PD or the state police had done it. They found that something similar had happened a couple of times in like Lewiston, Amherst, Tonawanda, but only once or twice. Who knows? In those cases, it might have been like a legitimate law enforcement action or an honest mistake. But Cheektowaga doing it 21 times, that's a pattern of behavior. Cheektowaga PD doing it 21 times during the same time period that the Buffalo PD did it 0 times, that means it's a choice. Cheektowaga cop taking you over to Border Patrol or ICE after a shoplifting accusation makes as much sense as a Cheektowaga cop pulling you over for having a busted taillight and during the questioning saying, hey, do you owe any money to the IRS? Oh, you said no, but I don't know if I believe you. I'm going to take you over to the IRS right now, and we're not going to leave that office until they can prove that you're up to date on your taxes. I don't know how this stuff has gotten this out of hand in the first place. In 2018, the New York State Supreme Court said that local police departments are not supposed to be getting involved in civil immigration enforcement. They don't know how. It's outside of their jurisdiction. But I guess the Cheektowaga PD just said to the New York State Supreme Court, fuck you, I'm going to do it anyway. Which I'm sure could be opening Cheektowaga up to some sort of lawsuit. You are a Cheektowaga cop. You are getting paid to address Cheektowaga crime. I'm sure there's a stolen car somewhere out there in Cheektowaga. Go take care of that. If you want to be an ICE agent, go apply for a job as an ICE agent. I hear they're hiring. But right now, you are a Cheektowaga cop getting paid off of the Cheektowaga taxpayers' dime to do Cheektowaga work. You're not getting paid to go cosplay as Trump troopers right now. Do your fucking job. So if you live, work, or shop in Cheektowaga, if you don't live in Cheektowaga, but your kids attend the Cheektowaga Sloan School, you can go down to those meetings. They're open to the public for a reason. Look, you don't even have to go down there because you want to speak. You can go down there just because you want to watch and observe and see this happening with your own eyes. You can go down there because you want to try to meet people who seem to have similar like beliefs and values and interests as you. You can go down there because you want to cheer for the things that you know are right and you want to heckle the shit that you know is wrong. And if you do not want to attend the meetings, you still can get involved. You can go over to the Erie County Women United website. This is a group that has been organizing these Pack the Hall meetings. You can email all of these people on the Cheektowaga City Council and say like, hey, I am paying attention to this story. You can go over to the Investigative Post's website and for free read their reporting about the Cheektowaga PD. You can follow Erie County Women United here on TikTok. They also post a lot on Instagram. The Cheektowaga Town Hall meetings are live streamed on YouTube. And if you go to the Cheektowaga Town Council YouTube page and go to this section that says live, you can watch the videos of the last 2 Pack the Hall Town Hall meetings. I put all of my videos about ICE in the Western New York area into this one playlist, so you can like go watch those, get some more context. And remember, Cheektowaga has an open to the public town hall meeting every 2nd and 4th Tuesday of every month at 5:30 p.m. And they are open to the public for a reason. You can always go.
Here in New York State, we have a state Supreme Court ruling that basically says local police agencies cannot participate in civil immigration enforcement. I think the argument here for these police agencies that are helping ICE. They would say it's the criminal side of it. But I want to start here with Cheektowaga police, because you really dug into this and found 21 migrants have been turned over to federal immigration agents after they were detained on low-level offenses, things like shoplifting. Why is this happening so much with Cheektowaga police? And we'll talk about the others.
So it remains to be seen why Cheektowaga police are doing this so frequently. The really important thing to note here, based on what you kind of said in the intro here, is that the police are enforcing local and state criminal law. They are not enforcing federal law. And so these people who are getting caught up by Cheektowaga police, for example, they may have broken a state or local law, but they may not have violated federal criminal law at all. Maybe they have status, maybe they don't. The Attorney General has been pretty clear that that's not really a determination for local police to make. But what we found in our reporting is that these local police are in fact taking it upon themselves to ask questions about citizenship, to ask questions of whether somebody's in the country illegally, and then depending on their more or less untrained response to that, the response they get to those questions, and again, they're not immigration enforcement officers, they're then calling Border Patrol saying, we've got a suspicion that this person might be illegal. Border Patrol then says, we'll take it from here, because they're under the mandate from President Trump.
So obviously we have New York State Police, you have the Buffalo Police Department, the largest in our region. They're not doing any of this, but there are, as we mentioned there, a half dozen or so agencies that are.
Yeah, so among them are the Erie County Sheriff's Office, the Niagara County Sheriff's Office, which went the extra step of getting a formal agreement with ICE. That's kind of one of the formal legal workarounds to this. They have an agreement in place where their officers can ask these questions. They can enforce civil and criminal federal immigration law, and they're detaining migrant women at the Lockport Jail. Other police agencies include Amherst, Tonawanda, North Tonawanda, Lewiston. Again, we haven't seen that Buffalo do that, and Mayor-elect Sean Ryan says it's just not the job of a local cop to enforce federal law. When we did an interview, he gave this analogy, which is, if you don't pay your taxes, Buffalo cops aren't banging down your door to make you pay your IRS bill. He says same thing applies with ICE. If you are in this country illegally, that's not necessarily the Buffalo cops' job. Other departments take a different tack, and they say it is our job, in fact, to say, oh, this person speaks Spanish and they've got tattoos. We're going to assume they're illegal, and we're going to call Border Patrol.
I know that there are advocacy groups that are upset at the local police agencies that are, assisting the feds in what many consider to be an inhumane deportation policy. Obviously, people can disagree on that. But what is the response when they're told, look, this is just about public safety, and that local police, if they believe someone is here and broke the law, that they should face consequences for it?
Well, the local cops are doing their jobs. They are in fact enforcing state and local criminal law. People are getting picked up at the mall, at Walmart for shoplifting, and they are being prosecuted for alleged shoplifting. They are, violating traffic laws and getting prosecuted for those offenses. The local cops are doing their job in that respect. The point here is that they're going an extra step, and they're then enforcing federal law where they don't really have the jurisdiction to do so. And while they're doing so, they're making mistakes. We interviewed one man who is a U.S. citizen who the cops suspected was an illegal immigrant. He wasn't. He was born in the Bronx. There's other people who have legal status, or they have a pending asylum claim. We interviewed a father and son who ended up in ICE detention for a month. ICE let them go because they had a pending asylum case. Yet the cops took it upon themselves to call Border Patrol. They ended up in detention, and the son is, as the father told us, traumatized as a result.
In this article, Dale goes into a lot of those specific cases, right? You got all the documentation, talked with people. It's really fascinating. I encourage you to go to investigativepost.org and read all of it. Dale, great to see you. Thanks so much.